Hi, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. We're so happy and so connected today. Thank you. This is Joanna, the Early Morning Ascension Show. We're so excited. We're so excited. We're creating new cycles of our experience within creation, our experience within the galaxy, our experience within our own bodies. And we wanted to talk about a really incredible topic today. And I know probably not going to say it right because it's hard. It doesn't sound flowing off of my tongue, but we'll get into the energy of it, And we're raising our breath and just a full body breath so we can arise and really capture these new exciting codes. And just activate your chakras and just activate your whole body system, your epicenter of light within and without, to be bathed in the highest light. So you're letting go of all densities. You're letting go of any blocks that you might have to receive this new information, this new experience of who you are as spirit. And today's lesson and topic is our beautiful discussion as our sacred soul tribe. We're meeting on so many different realms and so many different threads of vibration. Just know that we're always in communion of other frequencies and other timelines and other gradations of energy. So just know that we're always working as a family of one. Right now, your higher self and all of the teams and your guides and everyone is working with you to kind of pave the way. As we've talked about, spirit is always offering that spirit matter for us, those energies of molecules of light, if you will, and the codes of light and the energy of light and the omnipresent. And the omnipresent is all that is source creator for the new evolutionary experiences. But it's up to us to go within, to know that we can, to honor that we can, and to really step forward in those new evolutionary ways. And that's what our topic is today, is to be the evolutionaryist of your own experience. And that's what brings us, our whole collective, out of this boredom. And boredom really suppresses and weakens the whole immune system, because it's like the body in and of itself. The body is made up of trillions of experiences of biochemistry and physics and the energy of essence and spirit working within and of itself. And so boredom really suppresses itself within the same cycles of being. And so we want to inspire, beginning always with breath and intention. You're calling in your teams and you're living as the soul. You're calling the light of your soul up to live as the evolutionaryist, so that all of your cells, all of your organs, all that you are is becoming the new biochemistry of light. You're asking and calling in of the harmonization of new light. You're asking that your new day, your new moment, your new breath becomes brand new and evolutionary. Training your bodies, training your experiences, training the epicenter of all that you are to seek the newness in all that is being offered in creation. And so in any way that you can, allow yourself to really get excited about how can you be, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. How can you be the evolutionaryist of your own experience? We're thanking Spirit for being a part of us, that little spirit and sprite there, that moment. Thank you. Thank you. They're always with us and creating great love and excitement. I've called in all the teams before we got here. All the beautiful pixies and the angels and our ancestors are always with us. Our ancestors are waiting at our beck and call for us to include them in their everyday practices, because we have so many gifts from all of the other timelines and all the other earths that are waiting to be harmonized into this new earth. The new earth experience is waiting for our new gifts, our new skills, the new way of becoming evolutionary. But it requires that we ask and call it, and ask that we call in spirit, we call in the beautiful energies that we are from all lifetimes, from all forms, from all bodies, from all, our races that we've all come within, the tribes that we've all come within, and we're now harmonizing into this new now. I harmonize myself as the new now moment. I harmonize myself as the new experience of me, the new honoring of me, the new value of me. And this is where true self-empowerment and true self-value come from, so that you don't look for it from anything outside of you. You're not looking for a grade. You're not looking for validation. You're not looking for guidance from anyone. You're choosing the guidance and the evolution from within you. And you will always be guided. Spirit will always guide you. You're always allowing yourself to see yourself evolve. How in all moments and every day that you wake up, set aside that daily self-care to call forward anything that needs to be recalled from your dreams, to be worked through, or to be investigated, to explore. And how can you be the evolutionaryist of anything that comes forward, so that you're allowing yourself the new movement and moment of how you're becoming new. You're constantly, as we said before, in a state of renewal. Everything is a Vesica Pisces, always harmonizing the male and the female bodies, ever becoming more the God and Goddess. In your greater empowerment to express yourself and explore yourself and experience yourself anew, it's always evolutionary. And we understand through eons of de-evolution what the vibrational stories have provided us, and how our world is really being pressed upon to really sit back and observe and perceive what is currently going on, not to react to any of it, but just to observe it and to see how it's refining and reflecting where you really want to be in that vibration. When you give yourself time to process what is, you then get to see, well, how can I reflect on that and really refine where I'm going and what I'm feeling, because that's really not what I want to be a part of. That seems very suppressive or depressive or subjugatory, or those are old roles, they don't suit me, or this is not, it's not feeling exciting and vibrational, enlightening. And this is how we should allow ourselves to always be driven and always be renewed. Is it going to be of light? Is it really carrying great light and excitement? So really feel into, does it feel heavy or does it feel light? Does it feel exciting? Does it feel boring? Does it feel, and not that every moment has to be boring, of course, but you can see the driving of these new pathways of higher vibrational entrainment. And that's what it's really all about. To entrain your body in all ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, and energetically, spiritually, always allowing yourself to take those new explorations and those new discoveries. Be curious about who you are. Really be curious about who you are with spirit and how to bring that to new life. And we're really excited about all the energies that are really happy to be with us now, that we didn't used to see before, but now they're coming into our scope more and more, because we're allowing this new evolutionary experience of who we are, the soul of who we are, to say, I'm ready for my cosmic contact. I'm ready for my galactic contact. I'm ready for the evolutionary experience of who I am to be new today. I want to experience myself new. I want to experience Gaia new. And we're going to do, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. We have our master's class, and we're going to have some really exciting brand new information about the Earth Star chakra and how that's really key for our everything that we're becoming in this fifth dimensional experience and how powerful it is. And we're also going to talk about the pineal and how I was channeling information about the pineal and the Earth Star chakra, and how that's really pivotal to allowing yourself to really feel into the expansive evolutionary potentials that we all have, and how it transforms us in health and wellness, as well as rebalancing anything that's out of balance. So if you wanted to join us, just email me. They're $50 for that masterclass, and it's about 3 or 4 hours long. We'll send you a Zoom link. And that's really aligning your vocational direction. And there's many coaches and healers that are on there. So thank you. We're going to look forward to that class tomorrow. And so here's what they were offering. And so just open your hearts to receive, just open your hearts to receive, and really just tune into your chakras and ground, and just ground your energy, ground your light. Calling in for greater light. I'm calling in for greater light. I have the intention to raise my vibration. Thank you, Spirit. I have the intention to raise my vibration. I'm calling the light of my soul. I'm calling the light of my soul. And we are going to activate as a collective right now. We're going to activate the intention to be the new evolutionaryist, so that we can move about in all moments, that we can seek and we can discover and we can be curious about the evolution of who we are as spirit, who we are as these fifth dimensional beings and mavericks and purveyors of light. How can we see our bodies as new? How can we be the evolutionaryist of our own body and our health and our healing, so that there does not have to be any world chaos or disorder or any sign of protest or fighting for or against anything, but to simply allow the systems of our becoming to unfold, and anyone who so desires gets to be their own evolutionarist of their own guidance and their own self-systems of love. And that's what sovereignty is really all about, is honoring the path of all, and really disengaging yourself from any of the chaos, and the energies that are really, some of the things that's come up to my social platform the last couple of days is the increased anxiety and the increased aggression of the separation of vaccines and no vaccines. And that's what the whole intention was. The programs of control was to increase separation of humanity, along with many other things. Of course, it's not the only thing, but you can choose to just disengage and just send light and love and just start creating the new programs of your own health and wellness, because consciousness is all. Consciousness directs the health of your body. Consciousness directs of your wisdom and intelligence of higher vibrational experiences of who you are as a physical being. And then you allow yourself to step into a world where those experiences are a part of our story, but they don't have to be to the point where they're creating great discordance and great harm and greater dissension between our collective, because that's meant to bring us together. The whole virus was inspired and manifested so that we can understand how we were holding ourselves back from one another and the oneness of who we are with spirit, to really go within and reunite with spirit, to go within and reunite with our calling of oneness. And why that whole distancing has now been taken to a higher degree because of the controlling programs wanting to really distance us further and further and create greater chaos and dissension, and greater judgments of the programs of control of what we need and what we don't need, and how we're giving our power away to these experiences, and to really question it and observe it. There's no right or wrong way in any of it. It's about each person going within and choosing for themselves what feels good, and do they have to engage at all or just create something new, because it's all about supply and demand. The reality that you manifest, the realities you create, is about supply and demand. Where are you supplying your energy, investing it and directing it? And how can you just direct into something new? Just like the entertainment business, if you're not investing in the horror and gore movies and aggression movies, then there'll just be a new supply of energies that will be more fulfilling to where the soul is evolving to, because we're becoming a higher vibrational consciousness. Therefore, everything in our supply demand experience will be different. It will be socio-altruistic because it's serving the soul, and therefore it serves the all. And so let's talk about the evolutionaries, calling all evolutionaries for the derailment of stagnant cycles that deplete and take or squash or inhibit the fullest of your potential. So take a look at every day and how you're feeling inhibited, or how you're feeling squashed, or how you're feeling not heard or valued. What in your day can be infused with new evolutionary experiences? Maybe you can incite greater meetings of oneness and unity in your group or circle or collective. Lots of families are going through transitions because there's so many that are awakening. There's so many that are choosing where they want to be and how they want to move about this new experience of freedom and evolution. And so in this, are all families coming together and sorting out where they want to be in the cycle? Are all voices being heard? Are all voices being valued? And is everyone having their equal share and role and responsibility for all the changes and the shifts that are going on now? And how can it be infused with greater compassion and greater awareness and allowance that all have their right to their greater evolution, and how each person needs their evolution? And so what they're showing me is, just as you have this jungle, and this jungle is so rich and it's lush, and this is what any moment that source offers. Every animal within that jungle offers and needs and requires its own unique experience of life, and how it nourishes itself, where it sleeps and how it sleeps, the light it needs. Its sleep cycle is unique and different. The plant life that it needs is different. The safety and security that it needs is different. Its shelters needs are different. Every animal within that forest and that jungle has its own unique needs, and that life will be blessed unto each aspect of life in the way that it's needed. It will always be met. However you uniquely need your experiences to be met will be met for you. But it's up to you to go within and say, this is what I really need now, because these are my joys and my excitements. For instance, those of us that are Christ conduits, those of us that are visionaries, those of us that are empaths, those of us that are crystal children, we need great time with Gaia, and we need great time to replenish and renew, especially if we're healers and we're sending out all that magnificent energy, and we're feeling the collective pull on us for that information, and pull on us for that alignment for light and truth and clarity. And so it takes great time for us to renourish and replenish our bodies. When we're channeling information, there's a lot of energy going through us, and it takes that we just recenter and we renourish ourselves and regenerate ourselves in different ways that someone that is not a channeler or is entitled to that experience of their own evolution because they want to go to a different entitlement. So it's really important to know, what are your needs for nourishment, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually? What is it that you need that's going to feel safe and nourishing, empowering, and what's really serving you in your environment? And then release and eliminate those aspects that are no longer nourishing you, especially, if any aspects of news or anything that is bringing your energy down and depleting your energy and draining your energy. Anything that's draining your energy needs to be reviewed and looked at immediately, because that is the depletion of what can be an evolutionaryist. Evolution is when you choose, no, that's not serving me anymore. I'm going here now because I'm not being fed. It's constantly depleting, depleting, depleting. And each experience in that environment, if you will, that petri dish, all of those molecules and all of those matter molecules are meant to seek their own level of nourishment and their own level of inspirational life, if you will. Same as in the jungle. Every aspect of life has its own unique pathway to serve its nourishment, and it just knows what it needs. And that's the allowance factor. Allow that all souls and all paths and all beings and all life have their own unique needs, pacing, temperament, what they need to be nourished, and some need more based on how much work they're doing and how much offering they're doing, how much sharing and exciting they're doing for other people and for the collective, as well as the amount of light and energy that they're able to carry and process and integrate, because there's a lot of processing for greater light, and therefore your body needs greater time to adjust, as Jesus did. Much of his time was spent in absolutely taking regenerative time to repair his body and call in those greater lights so that he could be of greater service and care for more. And so it will require us to be our own evolutionarist. And when you're not allowing yourself to use your gifts and not be the expansiveness in all moments that you're able to, and really every moment, how can I seek this new moment for me? How can I be an evolutionary on my own life? How can I rewrite my own evolutionary story? If you were asked at the end of your life to write the story of your evolution, what would it say? This is why we're in a new moon cycle right now. We're just coming out of the new moon. So right now is a really great time to really reflect and take some time and reflect upon the evolution of yourself from your birth to now and what made your life. This is what we do, thank you, Spirit, in the Akashic review sessions, the karmic review sessions that you do with your highest self, your highest aspect of you with God. And when you're transitioning into a new cycle, your teams will ask you, what did you learn? Your soul always wants to know, what was the growth of your soul in that last cycle? That's what it's all about. It's all about your evolution. Are you aligning with yourself in the center? Are you allowing yourself to know that you're loved and you're empowered and you have great, remarkable gifts? And how can you share those gifts and really be in love with them and honor them and nourish them? How are you growing as a soul? And with your soul, it's all about your oneness with spirit as spirit, and then nourishing yourself as spirit for all the gifts that come forward and activated so that you can share more. As you become more, you share more. That's the growth of your soul and navigating the ins and outs of all of these transitioning realities and transitioning old roles and models that don't suit the evolutionary being, right? The evolutionary being doesn't care about the old roles and old models of what can and cannot be, because those are systems of control and confinement and subjugation that don't necessarily fit the spirit that just wants to freely create and explore, which everyone has the birthright to do. That is how we evolve. We can't evolve staying in the same stagnant cycles. And it's certainly not good for our health. That's why our lifetimes have been so short. You know, historically, we should have much longer lifespans. If we're living in the creation of our spirit's constantly flowing and allowing the flow of greater light and greater service of our bodies, in which there is no stagnant energies or stuck energies that suppress into illness and disease. Dis-ease is not the ease of the flow, right? We're easing the flow of love through us, just allowing it ease. If it's dis-ease, it means it's not flowing. There is no ease there. You're lacking in ease. And so how can you create greater ease? How can you be the evolutionaryist of your energy that's wanting to flow through you, the spirit that wants to grow and expand? For spirit has offered you many gifts, and if there is fear of breaking away from the pack, there are many infinite gifts of the new and capable until you absolutely activate it. So there's so many gifts and there's so many current gifts that you have right now, but if you're not using them because of fear of what others might say, because of the fear of you using them, for the fear of whatever energies are in your Akasha or your stories that just need to come up and be cleared and healed and accepted, then you're not allowing for any new to come in. So then the evolutionary process gets stuck. And so remember, if the threaded necklace, if you will, the pearl threaded, your activation of who you are and living in the highest evolutionary experience of who you are as energy and matter and spirit and matter, you're that pearl threaded. And when you break away and move up, you're also allowing all those that you're connected with in your collective to also rise up as well. It's called the pearl threaded. That means that you're pulling along those that also too, if they so choose, that are connected with you to go and do their own review and reflection and refinement, so that they can be a part of the evolutionary process if they so choose. But that for you not to stay stuck and, dehumbled in a point to something that is no longer you, and you can become stagnant and then just mentally turned off because these synapses are not working in new pathway experiences. So that's another thing, that the evolutionary cycle of who you are that you're responsible for. You get to entrain those new synaptic programs to break away from the old patterns of boredom and cyclical routine, and you get to create these new patterns through which your brain is having to think of new ways to call in information, new ways to process and integrate new information. Because as we're calling in greater light, our brains and our wiring system has to create those new pathways for it. Because how we used to interpret information is not how we interpret it now, because we're interpreting it as a full multidimensional experience. And what we're going to talk about in our class is how Gaia offers that through the chakras of the earth and create those healing experiences for us and with us and through us. And so the evolutionists are those that infuse new light, new potentials, and honor to what has always been. How may you create new sacredness? How can you create greater truth of who you are in that sacredness? And always to that which is divine and innately yours to explore, For you are all creators within the heavens and many life programs. And so it's just a matter of us activating that we say, yes, I'm a creator in that program. I'm a creator in that program. You're bringing down those energies so that you can anchor them and then start activating these new experiences for who you are in this earth co-creative template. Remember, the spirit matter is already there for us. It's up to us with our inspirational hearts and the pulsations that we are and getting excited about who we are, that we get to start bringing that into matter form. And all of the heavens are helping us thread people together, thread energies together, thread companies and groups together in the alignment of where the main higher program is. And that's why we wake up with the inspirations that we do. They're all evolutionary programs that go far beyond what we have understanding to explain. The teams and the guides that we come with are the higher selves of our higher selves and the oversouls and the oversouls, all threading the pearl threaded in these light programs. And why everybody's path of awakening is unique. What one person needs on their path of awakening is different than another. And it's meant to be that way. And it's okay that you might have people in your crew or in your tribe that might not understand what your nourishments and your needs are. And that's okay. But it's okay that you absolutely have to keep in firm alignment with what your needs are and maintaining that for your greater health and wellness and evolutionary path. You might have great desire and need to speak with really highly intellectual beings and companies and groups and leaders so that you can maintain your progressive fluidity of leadership. That might be an absolute because you know that you're meant to be a part of Earth leadership too, a new transitional experience. You might need access to greater healing modalities that have never been discovered, but you want to connect with those that want to start talking about those things because you know that's a part of your Earth program, your new destiny, if you will. And so allow yourself to really take time every day to allow that processing of evolution to come forward through you. Because again, it's your soul and your ancestors living through you. And are you accessing the gifts that they've given? Are you allowing all of yourself to be creating a new routine that benefits you and benefits the all? Giving yourself time to process and really understand your gifts. And that's going to be this next phase. You know, the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to be a lot of us that have been on this path for a really long time is really taking that time to get used to our new gifts and how to feel in and around because the energies are different. How our bodies used to read energy before is not how we read them now. And so we're having to feel around and navigate. It's a new path, just like the forest. We might have taken this path before, but now we're going to have to go here and over there and up there, and it might be just straight through there. So it's going to be different for each and every one of us, how we find that light way of what works for us, because each of our gifts and skills are changing in unique embodiment and embellishment to how we're asking and calling it in, and how we're loving and nourishing it. Take time each day to be with your ancestors and really practice your gifts. And take 1 week for a different gift so that you're constantly evolving as an evolutionary being and helping the councils and the groups that you're all working on. Because every time I have an appointment with each and every one of you on my global webinars, your teams and your guides and your galactic teams come through and show me many, your higher selves and your energies come through and show me many of the experiences, you know, that you're co-creating different galactic programs and different galactic groups that you're working on, and why you have those interests to work with Gaia and to create those threaded excitements, because you're also working on the ships, that you're doing higher vibrational work, and what you're doing here is just an extension of the threaded pearl. Again, the threaded pearl that they said. So every day, stretch who you are. Every day, reach out and create through imagining, through visualizations, through intention about who you choose to allow yourself to explore today, deep within, and reach up and reach out. And that can be through your sensing. Explore your evolutionary experiences and your gifts for sensing information, how you can sense new information, how you just know what you know. How can you create that new evolutionary experience of your brain and wiring patterns? How can you create those new experiences? And really evolve beyond those old thought patterns. Anytime that you have an old thought that is negative and stagnant, create that new thought pattern right away. Stop and breathe, create something new. Stop and breathe, create something new. And that's how you create those higher vibrational thought patterns. It's that higher vibrational entrainment. You are the catalyst to all new cycles, new wisdoms, and new visions. And you have to be the catalyst. You have to be the one that gets in the elevator and pushes the button, as Spirit said, and asking for it and seeking it. Yes, Spirit, I choose to be my new evolutionary today. How may I evolve beyond what I was yesterday? How may I evolve beyond what I was this morning? You know, and just allow yourself to soak within and feel the richness of all the teams and the beings working with you. When you hold yourself back, you hold the tribe back. So carry on and be of great revolutionary strides forth that infuse something great. And so again, that's that threaded pearl. When you're holding yourself back for whatever reason, whether it's fear, lack of confidence, whatever the energies you might think are, whether it's resources or whatever, Spirit will always make sure that whatever you need is before you. But you have to take that first step so that Spirit knows you're the one that's in charge of your evolutionary path, and Spirit will always provide what you need. Whether it's a house, somewhere to live, whether it's resources or income, Spirit will always provide that for you, but you have to take that first step. And that Spirit's always promised with you, always, always, always. When you take that first step, say to give notice on your apartment, Spirit will take that next step. So you're never going to know you're never going to know the full path all the way through. You're not supposed to, because Spirit will want you to go here and go there. Take 2 days off and really go to that hot spring so you can get an activation and regenerated and renewed, and then you're going to go there and there and there. That's what Spirit asks of you. Because there's a whole bunch of, as Jesus went to, and most masters, they always, on their path of self-actualization and self-oneness with Spirit, they always go off, on a regular basis, and they create just that oneness and that sacred path with Spirit. And they go off into the wilderness, and they go off and creating just on their own with Spirit, for many, many reasons. And that is the unconditional path that you take with Spirit, that you're not meant to know what's coming forward. You're meant to just wake up every day, what next, Spirit, what next, Spirit, what next, Spirit, and build that trust with Spirit. And Spirit will take you in and out of these dimensions and these realms. And know that as Jesus has been on our planet always, because all timelines and all lifetimes are now, and as Jesus and many masters, they're going in and out of the timelines and the vibrational timelines, and there will never be a straight linear experience of when his birth and when his death was, and all things that he did in between, because he's in and out of many different dimensions, many different locations on earth, and why his energies will be seen and felt in different places. And that's meant to be. Spirit needs that, because there's portals and there's activations and there's grids, and again, everywhere that those energies are, the energies are being activated for very special reasons. And then that next shaman can come in and do their work, and then the fairies and the elementals can come in and do their work, and then the galactic teams can send in down their light. Again, it's an infinite program of elegance. The omnipresent is constantly evolving based on our consciousness level. So our collective is really, really empowered right now to really be evolutionary. There is so much help, and it's lush help helping us to heal, to create, to clear and cleanse the bodies and old programs of negative thought patterns and lower depleting, devaluing programs of limitation. We are so powerful. There is so much working for us. And it's just a matter of us to say, yes, I want to be an evolutionary today. How can I read my cards differently today? How can I really tune into who I am as a beautiful evolutionary, and just allow my multidimensional knowingness to come forward in my food and my sleep and whatever it is that my nourishment is needing right now, and trust it. Each day that you can prepare yourself for new and grander awakenings, in which, so you're preparing the path, if you were saying, I'm going to be an evolutionary today, it's going to come to me however Spirit will show me. So again, prepare the path. The old cycles of de-evolution just had the same cycles, habits, and patterns. And the brain really literally shut down because it was running the same synaptic program. Anytime you came into a hurdle, same synaptic program. All things aren't going to work out in the same synaptic program. You got to jump out of that and say, no, everything's going to work out. It's going to be okay. I got this. Spirit's always working for me. The universe is always working for me. Create those new synaptic programs and break out, break free. Because there's infinite tools and potentials for your new world. So practice new evolutionary programs, practice new insights, practice new affirmations, practice new getting up and getting busy and getting out and getting beyond. Allow yourself to stretch and imagine and revolutionize. Be the first to break free. Be the first to break bread. Call in anything new, call it in. Maybe today you say, I'm going to be evolutionary. I'm going to create perhaps a new way of gentleness. How can I be gentle with my body today and who I am today? How can I be more loving today? How can I be more kind or caring or forgiving? Of course, forgiving is huge for everybody, because there's not one person on this planet that won't have to go through a cycle of understanding and really practicing forgiveness on self. Everything that has been done, everything that has been said, practicing forgiveness and allowing others to be forgiven as well. And really practicing it with compassion and presence. Can I be present with this compassionate experience right now? Can I really listen? Can I really be tangible with what is going on right here with this communication and relationship exchange? Not with intention of outcome, right? I intend to get something out of this, or I intend for it to go my way, or I intend for it to be this way, or an insistence of it being this. Any insistence or expectation you have in an outcome, you're trying to thwart the control of it, as opposed to it just naturally allowing spirit to flow through what needs to be done and said and interacted upon. Because the spirit, when you're just allowing spirit, you understand that, especially out of these de-evolved stories and cycles, when you're with those that allow your spirit just to be free and flowing and natural and illuminating, you know that they're empowering the highest part of you, as opposed to being in cycles and experiences where always constantly defiant. You're constantly on defense. You're constantly having to prove a point. You're constantly having to validate, and explain yourself away. Those are not empowering and evolutionary programs. They're dysfunctional and toxic, right? Every soul is worthy of being empowered to be their best. Every soul is empowered to be their highest and their most beautiful and their most expansive. Every soul is benevolently, has the birthright to be expressive and exploratory in their unique expression of who they are, and to love and honor the journey. Everyone's needs are different. And you shouldn't wake up and feel as if every day is a struggle. That's not what life is meant to be like. Your life is meant to be exciting and loving and blessed and honoring and sacred. All life is sacred. So if it's not sacred, how can you make it sacred? How can you infuse the evolution of sacredness? Because you are. Your bodies, your chakras. If you understood the sacredness of everything that makes you up and connects you with Gaia and connects you with the heavens, the sacred geometry, your song, the song of who you are as spirit, the essence of who you are, and you fed and you nourished every part of you as sacred love, so much of the illness and the discordance within your body would begin to flow and move in an easier way, so that it's just moving through you, and you're not hanging on to any one energy, you're not hanging on to any one deceit, or you're not hanging on to any one dissension. It's just all being released. And you're not carrying that in your body. You're not holding resistance on the energy that really wants to flow through you and care for you and honor you and create new evolutionary experiences for you. So it's really, really, really important. Daily self-care. Where is my life feeling stagnant? Am I feeling like it's a constant chaotic defense? Am I feeling like I'm having to constantly fight to survive here? Constantly being taken from, constantly being, block after block after block after block. You are meant to be in the birthright of flow and being honored in it. And so if there are constant blocks there, that environment is holding you back. And then it's up to you to choose to release yourself from it and move on. Because nobody else in that collective is going to move forward unless you do. And why would anybody want to hold that selfish experience, right? To ask anybody to be held back for their own selfish reasons. Because that's holding the evolution of everybody. And there's greater reasons, right? The greater good is always at play. Greater good always at play. And that's when spirit will step in. Right? The innocent can no longer be taken from. The innocent can no longer be thwarted. The innocent can no longer be blocked and cascaded out of evolution. It can't. It can't. The light will always prevail, because everybody requires and everyone deserves to evolve. Everyone. It's a basic spirit right. Every aspect of life deserves its right to evolve. And it's right to be nourished, and it's right to be valued, and it's right to be honored, and it's right to be lifted up in its gifts and to be valued in its gifts. Isn't that what we want for our children? That we lift each and everyone up to their uniqueness, not to pocket them into anything, not to suppress them into any one program or define them and grade them. We want them all to be lifted uniquely into who they are, and to embellish that and really say, how can you evolve even greater? How can you be your most expansive self? Can you visualize yourself different tomorrow? Can you really get excited about who you are tomorrow? And you just feel all those densities of suppression lifting and clearing away. And then we just create that vortex of transmutation. I'm releasing all of those lower vibrational experiences that I've been in, all those stories that have held me boxed up, and I'm going to clear them now. I'm putting them in my vortex, and I get to choose to be a new evolutionary experience for myself today. I am creative, I am expansive, I am well, and I'm healthy. All my cells are listening. I'm creating new higher vibrational thought patterns, and my synapses are moving in new expansive ways. I get to choose who I am. I get to choose who I am. I am healthy. I am well. I am sacred. I am healthy. I am well. I am sacred. I'm connected with my earth. I'm connected with the heavens. I'm connected with the many teams that allow me to pave my path with uniqueness and clarity. I release all subjugation and limitation and fear. I release all definitions that hold me less than and lack, because I get to choose. Thank you, Spirit. So breaking every old cycle, allowing yourself to be nourished, stepping beyond the old self-limiting beliefs in any way. Anytime a limiting belief comes up, you say, I release that now. Thank you for the story, but I choose new. So anytime a limiting belief comes up, whether it's about your physicality, your mentality, your spirituality, whatever you want to call it, just say, I release this now, I get to choose a new one. And then you get to write your own story. You get to be the character of your own hero. Wait for nobody. Wait for nobody to hand anything to you. Create it. Create, create, create. And not wait for anybody, but you have the gifts and the skills and the tools within you to create something new. So how can you create something new? How can you be a part of the creative evolution and inspire everything new from everyone else? Really empower, inspire, and encourage. That's our role as parents. Not to tell them what to do, not to dictate of any one path that can be taken or should be taken, but to release it and send it back to their heart so they know who they are within themselves and to really seek their highest guidance. To empower, to encourage, and to inspire them to be their highest and their best, only seeking the highest guidance within, because they know what they're here for. And it's up to us to empower that. You have your soul's plan. You have your soul's contract with spirit. You have your soul's higher self and your soul. You have so many beings and teams with you. You know what you're doing. And I'm here to empower you and inspire you and encourage you anew. And to always let you know that you are constantly evolving. Constantly evolving. So give great gratitude for who you are. And you get to create in the joy of the infinite possibilities and be grateful for your own purpose and its essential growth and what it needs within its growth. So again, what do you need for your constant growth and evolution? Greater rest time, greater time with Gaia. And you will just see how all of your needs will be met, because it's not something that I've had many people say to me, well, how do I make an income? How do I get my bills and all of that sorted out? You'll absolutely understand, because you're being evolutionary, that you're going to step beyond those programs that said, well, I need to make this much a month, I need this, because those are the programs of the old. When you are evolutionary, you can say, how can I create the sustenance in ways that I haven't even known? And let spirit. Don't be insistent on any one path working out any one way, because that's not evolutionary. That's still trying to control it into a program or a box. Let it all go and just be insistent that spirit, I'm surrendering. That's my only insistence. And you show me the way. Because that's evolutionary. You absolutely trust with spirit. Anything that unfolds is meant to. And it will take you that, like, wow, I see how that worked out, spirit, thanks. You might not see how it works out. You might not see why you had to go there and then there and then there, but spirit absolutely knows. And your higher self, maybe a year later, you'll see, wow, I get why I had to do that. I get why I was active on that grid there. I guess I absolutely know why I met that person in the coffee shop. So spirit knows exactly why and who you need to bump into and why you need to get where you need to get and be where you need to be. So just trust spirit and where you're being led and guided. That's evolutionary. So again, they were saying, so being evolutionary is really important because it allows us to change the synaptic programs of routine and patterning that are de-evolving ourselves, our synaptic thought programs, and of course our infinite growth potentials and youth potentials, because we do have the potential to stop aging and really return our youth into every one moment of new now. And so not take on any thought belief program that we had to age, or we had to create the genetic diseases and take them on as our parents did, and any stories that are fed to you about, oh, your parents had cancer, so you're going to get cancer. No, we have absolute choice to rewrite our DNA, to rewrite any genetic experience, any predisposed experience. We have the right to rewrite it. We absolutely do. Absolutely, because consciousness is king over all things. Your consciousness creates any aspect of your DNA and to rewrite it and create anew. I make no mistake about it, because that's the omnipresence and spirit working within all things. Your will and intent is overall, above all, the driver of your ship. The driver, the fuel, everything in between it. That is what is evolutionary. And that is where our consciousness is now going, instead of spending so much time and money in what is going on right now on our planet, when we really could just renew and recycle who we are as spirit. And we don't even need the billion-dollar business of vaccines, because our bodies will be so healthy we wouldn't catch those diseases, because we're youthing ourselves. Our vibration is so high it wouldn't manifest those experiences. We're calling in that oneness. We wouldn't manifest diseases to keep ourselves at distance, or create a government that wants us to be even more distant. So again, our consciousness creates everything that we see. So release all the judgment about what you see, because it's all you just trying to sort your way and navigate your way around. What are you and who are you and where is your power going? Where are you investing? What story? What reality? So get real with it. Be okay with it. Get intimate with it, because that's how you become the evolutionaries. And really stand bold within it. Yeah, I faced that fear yesterday. I faced it head on. And I will continue to face it head on, because I absolutely know there are no fears. They're just beliefs and stories that we were put within from all of our lineage, and why we came and why we chose the stories that we did, because we knew we could transcend them, because there was always the equal opposite, always in our universe. Any issue, any challenge, any problem, there is always the equal light, the divine relationship that can be infused within it and create anew. That is evolutionary. That is a master. You create something from nothing, something from nothing. Take whatever is, create something from nothing. Take whatever energy spirit has and what you've created, because you've manifested it, create something from nothing. Infuse the light, open and allow, and let miracles occur. That's a master. And anybody can be it. It's just a matter of life. So breaking of the ancestral patterns and programs of going beyond what was, the pliable, the possible, and the attainable, for it requires only that you desire to create the environment and the nourishing of it in all that is, as the soil, as the garden, and you are sitting at the precipice for new scopes of vibrational entertainment, entrainment, and all that you are as being a rediscoverer of life. When you're moving about life, it's your entertainment of you, its spirit. That's why when you usually awaken, you watch less and less TV, because you're so entrained to create that vibrational discovery with spirit. Everything is entertaining. You spend more and more time outside with nature and with spirit. You can hear spirit, you can see spirit, you got the light ships, you got all the teams coming in and out, you got spirit coming in and out, you can feel it, you can sense it, you're a part of it. That's entertainment. We're going to be changing and redelivering ourselves and rediscovering ourselves in these new vibrational evolutionary ways. So really get excited about where we are. So beautiful. And break the patterns, right? Have tradition means something really powerful and profound, but put something that's new and infusing of sacredness. Remember those tips. How can you create sacredness? How can you create the allowance and the knowing that all need to be nourished and evolve in their own unique way and temperament and speed and pacing? All souls have their unique soul paths and their soul lessons that they want to partake in. And so allow them the open gate, because they're assisting all of creation. Anyone being held back, and why all that is, being held in any of the systems, anyone that is held in a confining experience against their free will be brought forward, because that is evolutionary, and it must be. We're moving into new experiences of light. We have the right to evolve. Each person has the right to evolve. Each spirit has the right to evolve, and we become in that oneness, and we become more caring in that heart. That's our oneness, right? We would never want to hold anyone back on any of their evolutionary experiences and their soul's purpose, right? That's not karma you would want to experience. We've all had it in all lifetimes. Orion and Draconian, Reptilian. We've all got those experiences in our DNA, and why each and every one of us on this planet are now forcing into a new experience of, wow, do I really want that type of control and energy, and where am I giving my power to? Why was I even a part of that story? But if you're not taking that daily self-care and reflection, creating that processing time, that integration time, creating that new sense of self, new self-importance, new self-direction, new self-guidance, new self-purpose, then you're going to continue those cycles, because that's the illusion. It's up to us to go within and say, no, I'm self-directed, I'm sovereign, I'm going to create this now, I'm going to create this, I'm going to create this, I'm going to create something totally new. And you have that right. Okay, so we're going to take one of our cards, our new deck. Thank you, Spirit, our angels and our ancestors today. Oh, this is wonderful. Merciful Mother Jamal. And the Merciful Mother Jamal is about allowing us sacred surrender, for energies to be brought forward, for pathways to be opened, for sacred healing and activation, and new paths to be assisted. If you can't find a way in or out of something, if you can't resolve something, if you're finding trouble accessing something, then the Merciful Mother Jamal is the sacred energy to call upon to assist in that divine intervention to offer something new. And it's called from the heavens for the mercy for you to see that tool, that gift, that experience, that doorway for you to make your way into something new. But it's up to us to know that it's needed and required. When you've exhausted all experiences, you've done everything that you can physically, mentally, emotionally, etherically, that is the working with your teams and the universe to say, I'm not sure where to go next and who to call on. What do I do? I've done that so many times. Okay, Spirit, what do I do now? Especially for us code breakers, because we're breaking all of these experiences. We're able to see beyond it. We're able to see through the density. We're able to see through the mess and the chaos. But there's most often than not, the collective is not yet caught up yet. So most, just like any inventor, there has to be that experience of others catching on and saying, wow, that's working for me. Wow, that's working for me. Wow, that's working for me too. And then that collective momentum of the pearl threaded starts to take place. And we start creating these new programs of vortex of light and these new experiences of, again, what are you investing in? And then those energies keep coagulating, because that's the energy of freedom and liberation and creativity. And that feels much more joyful and light than the denser stories that we've been placing ourselves within. But sometimes we have to absolutely call upon divine intervention to assist us in taking that next leap forward. And that's where we call in that divine mercy, for the forgiveness to be brought where you're not sure where it needs to go, for that story to be uplifted, to show it to you so you're not sure what happened and where it happened and why it happened. And that's your connection and your absolute unconditional trust that Spirit is absolutely with you every step of the way. And to call upon it when you need it. All of your teams, all of your ancestors, all of your guides are always with you. If you're not sure how to correct something, ask Spirit. I'm not sure how to go to this next step. Please help me. I've worked out this, this, and this. And that's what Spirit wants and your soul wants. When you're doing your new moon and Akashic summation, you're going into this new cycle. Your soul will always ask you, what have you done? And because anybody that's coming to us as masters, we say, well, what have you done so far? What have you learned so far? Always return the questions back so that they know that they're absolutely moving in a conscious way of their path. Not just regurgitating something of someone else, not just saying, oh, I don't know. Be conscious of your path, because then I've absolutely tried everything. I've gone to every library. I've asked every single person I know. I've looked into the gurus. I've done, I've prayed, and you've done those experiences because that's what Spirit wants to see. Spirit wants to see you excited about your evolution, because there's answers that you can get and you can seek, and it'll come to you in the most weird and courageous ways. It might be because your soul might need to receive, right? That's part of your soul's purpose, because in 7 other lifetimes, you were a complete giver. And that's a soul lesson that this lifetime you're here to experience, is being receiving. That's part of the divine feminine energy being rebalanced. And so part of that mercy experience is that you've done everything. You've done all the legwork. You've kept doing all this work. In my particular case, I'm worked so hard in devotion and commitment to create something, or to find answers to something, and to see the way through in light, especially when there's so much density and so much blocks being put in my way that have been put in my way. And Spirit will say, it's now time for you to receive. And part of your challenge now is to ask to receive. And so your soul will want that experience, so that you're not just doing what you've always done, doing it on your own. Now you're going to be a part of having to change it up a little and grow in a soulful way, so that you're absolutely receiving from others, because others want to give to you. Others want to be a part of that giving to you. And they're showing me again, when you're taking on that masterful path and that soul's path, and all masters have to go through this, where you're taking your solitary time with Spirit and you're going on your individual camping trips or your soul trips or your retreats and so on. Spirit will have you go in and out and meet people in and out of dimensions, because sometimes you're crossing in and out of dimensions, with the many of the portals and the activation centers on your planet. And you're going to bump into someone that you've meant to bump into, because 2 or 3 lifetimes ago, you had helped them out of a life-saving experience, and now they're there to repay you. And they're just there to help you with maybe a meal that you need. So you have no idea about the intricate weaving that Spirit is in all things. So just allow yourself to be, again, as we said yesterday, the illogical path. Because there will always be illogic. That's Spirit. You're going to want to crisscross and do everything, because that's part of your soul's growth. Can you surrender into Spirit and know that you will always be cared for? Know that you will always be finding your new evolutionary way to trust Spirit. Know that you're always going to be guided and everyone will be taken care of and safe. Do you trust that your children have their guides and their teams? Can you empower them to know that they have their teams and their guides, and always go within for that divine connection and speaking with their teams and guides, so they absolutely have access to it at all times, and so do you. So allow this evolutionary path to be illogical, to be amazing, to be miraculous, and know that there's infinite wisdoms held within all that you are as a multidimensional being, that can assist with all that you are in your healing and in your progressiveness into the highest consciousness experience of who you are. And really let go of any belief that you have about any illness, and really release all of the experiential tensions that each and every one of us have to transmute, because it's a collective experience. Anything that you come through in an experience throughout your day, transmute that energy so that you're creating the new timeline for creative earth, right? If there's anything that you see that is discordant and dishonoring of life, you know, in any way, just transmute the energy. I'm transmuting the energy from my experience, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, so that we're allowing ourselves to take all sacredness and all life, and each of us have the allowance and the path that is spirited and in the right use of will. You just transmute it. And know that you can. We're all becoming a part of this beautiful, colorful earth, and we want to be a part of the ride. We don't want to be controlled anymore and put in these boxes where we're following others. We get to choose. We're transmuting this energy, spirit, and this will be the best earth that we can ever imagine co-creating on. And our bodies will be replenished and nourished in kind. And that is the kind of energy that Spirit One, the heavens, want to see from us. We are taking ownership of our health. We're taking ownership of our magnetic, miraculous path. We are being the evolutionarists. It's always such a hard word to say. Oh, and again, this is the card of magnificence. This is the very first burst, right? When the Spirit birthed you, in the very first breath of Spirit being so excited to be with you and to create a life with you on all realms and all bodies, Spirit said, absolutely, that you are going to be breathed with so much miraculous excitement to evolve and to evolve and to evolve again. And then you're going to come to a point where you're going to awaken into the remembrance of who I am with you. And we get to evolve together. And anytime that you call me and Spirit and the Holy Creator and the Mother and the Father, whatever you call God to be, the omnipresence, you are activating those little tiny energies and those essences of fluid membrane around the cells and in the middle of the centers of all that is the life and the breath of them itself. You're activating the omni and the omni, and it's the fluid cohesion of all that is spirit and life. The more that you do that, you become more spirit and you become more life. And that's why breatharians have allowed themselves to be entrained to only survive on breath. They've allowed their bodies to know and to be nourished by the breath itself. That is the essence of the spirit. And Spirit has said, when I birth you and I breath you, you are going to have infinite creations. That is the eternal breath. That is your eternal life that all masters spoke of. And that is our unity and our harmonization of who we are becoming. Our health, our wellness, our self-direction, our self-sovereignty, anything that we want to co-create and manifest. Through thought, we are one. Through thought, we get to manifest. We don't need any program or collective or group or council to say, no, you can't create that. We are able to manifest from thought. And this is why we have to go through the evolutionary experiences that we do. Because we don't want to manifest from thought and anger through which people are harmed. The right use of will is so important. We're manifesting through thought so that all are created in goodwill and good kind, and each have their evolutionary birthright to maintain their highest and their best, to always expand and to always explore as spirit and source so that the whole collective can come along for the ride. We're so excited. We're glad that you've had this experience with us today. We thank you so much, our light ones. Anybody that wants to connect with our mastery class tomorrow, we're so excited about that class. We're going to have so many new activations, remembering the God self. You can email me. My email is below. Donations would be really appreciated for us. We're going to be putting out some new illustrations. Actually, I did pull out some new illustrations. I'll put them on my new Facebook. I've closed my old Facebook account, and we've got a new Facebook. It's down below, I think, anyways. And the illustrations will be on there of our new fifth dimensional soul harmonization. So really create evolutionary for yourself. The evolutionary words that you use, the spirit that you use, the energies that you call in to play with and access. And we love you so much. And just call upon spirit and source and know that you always have infinite guides and teams. This is the new moon energy. So really create that summation. What have you learned? What have you gone through to create that change, that evolution in yourself? And what is it that you need next from spirit, from the earth, and from your collective on how to really nourish a new environment for yourself so you can create that new expansive evolutionary potential of who you are. And really release and let go of anything that is limiting, depleting, demining, degrading, all of those D words, and really allow yourself to just shake it all up, send it away, shake it up and send it away. Let everybody know that they're responsible for their own path, making sure that your responsibilities are also held within the beauty of who you are. And also being open in your communication. What is it that you need from me? What is it? How can I help? And also allow yourself to know what you're comfortable giving, what you're not giving, because so many of us have been used to just doing it all. And so it's really going to be important for this next phase of soul growth for those of you that are in mastery, leadership, and teaching to know exactly when to give, how to give, and to whom to give, because oftentimes you're given those experiences of many different soul experiences on the planet. And oftentimes many might not even be ready or care about the light that you offer and how sacred it is. So it's really important to discern, where are you investing? Is it being taken advantage of? Is it being taken for granted? Is it being honored? Is it being respected? Are you being respected? So ask yourself those evolutionary questions, and then you get to choose, no, that's not okay for me, and you get to create your own path. You get to step out of those stories and then create the story of yourself for that new self-importance, because you're the only one that gets to take that in your expansiveness of who you are. And we love you, dear lighted ones. We honor you so much, and we love you. And we're sending you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rainbow tickles.